And now, your official TigerBait live show with Mike Scarborough and Buddy Songy starts now.
All right, welcome in another edition of TigerBait Live, brought to you by Pride Roofing, of course, the official roofing company of TigerBait.com. Going live tonight because of the Gymnastics celebration tomorrow night. Of course, winning the first national championship in gymnastics, and kind of looked like the stage was set for that to happen. And we're going to talk about that. LSU baseball, will be keeping an eye on that. They first pitch was at 6:30. And still 0-0 in that one. And football recruiting, basketball recruiting, in both men's and women's transfer portal. And welcome in, buddy.
Yeah, good to see you, Mike, of course, publisher of TigerBait.com. And as always, spitting out great content. Look, NFL draft Thursday night. We've got that on the wings. It finally happened. 50-plus years. D.D. Bro, 43 years as a coach. Jay Clark coming over from Georgia, and culminating with nailing an incredible routine on the beam with Aaliyah Finnegan, her mom and sister, big sister Sarah, in the stands. Had Pat Timlin, who works with Brian Holland and Chessa, on today, and he was talking about the LSU. He said purple and gold, all areas of the arena. Here's the interesting thing I always ask, Mike. Why is women's college basketball so much more popular than women's gymnastics? They kind of think the NCAA's been pushing the hoops a little bit more, especially with Caitlin Clark, LSU, Carolina, Iowa, what they've been drawing eyeballs the last 2 years. But what an incredible event. I had so many people that told me about it, were there, watched it, that nerve-wracking. If she nails it, LSU wins the natty. And Utah had given them a little space, but for all those gymnastic people, the donors, the people that believed them, the athletes, all of that, and Skip, who believed in DD, they led the country in attendance this year and win the natty. So job well done, Jay Clark and everybody involved. Ashley Nat Bugs had to have a special moment. DD said earlier yesterday on the show, she was the girl that, I mean, always so clutch, and here it was, Finnegan, to nail that beam. I don't know if you saw it, but back to back
Yes.
to back, right to the edge of the beam. We're talking 4 inches, folks, on that balance beam, and you could tell, and it just was such a great thing. We said they may be the next team to win a natty.
Well,
and it's
kind of
a great tribute to everybody that was there for the long haul.
It's kind of a deal where it's like, you know, we were talking all off season. Well, who's going to repeat, LSU women or LSU baseball? And neither one of them. And then when Oklahoma messed up and didn't make their way to the weekend, you know, that had a little bit of a feel of Iowa beating South Carolina last year and setting the stage for Kim Mulkey to win it and her team. And it just kind of seemed like it was time. And a lot of years of being close and, you know, such a positive thing for the program. And then Georgia comes after Jay Clark, and he's staying. So
his whole staff is staying, and obviously he's going to get a raise. And listen, that gymnastics community, I'm talking fan base, little kids, all the way to the ones that I'm having Susan Jackson on. She's the first LSU lady to ever win the overall title in the NCAA. She was kind of like Kevin Falk. She came here before it was a bona fide top 5 program. And so kudos to everybody involved. LSU baseball did get 2 out of 3. Now they've got a sweep, got to go 4-0 this week. Football recruiting. You know, Mike keeps talking about where's the beat. And lo and behold, I went over to Wendy's to pick up some food for Mike and his lovely sweetheart. And lo and behold, Clara was the girl waiting in the drive-thru line, and she wanted to know if I wanted to order a burrito or a Simeon Burrell, whatever it was. Mike, it's time now. You wanted Walter Nolan. Do you feel like, and we start this off here, but do you feel like the LSU fan base, Demont Williams coming in, kid from Kent State, can we assume, or is it still too early, to think that they're going to go on 2 or 3 D tackles here in the next week.
I think they need to get a few of them. And you brought up Simeon Barrow, and we were talking earlier about a couple others, and you got Demonic Williams out there and from TCU. And you've got others out there that like CJ West that want a big payday. And so, how's it all going to shake out? I think they need to get 2. Is it 2 of these 3? Is it some others? We're going to wait and see. And LSU men's basketball waiting. LSU women's basketball. I just kind of feel like we're on the cusp of a big flurry of announcements from multiple sports at LSU from the transfer portal.
We've said this, Mike, for about the last 6 months, and I don't think Brian Kelly or any of these coaches now ever thought that their business acumen would come in to coaching football. You have got to recruit. You got to get them into school. You got to keep them eligible. Then you have to re-recruit them, and then you have to make the decision when there are departures, whether coming or going, what is the going rate for a particular player to come into your culture, into your locker room, and not disrupt the culture, but yet be a plug-and-play guy. And that's what you're looking at D tackle. Nurse Court, we love you. Don't get mad. But Peyton Todd's got to get more consistent. Do you think they bring
She's in the chat. She was the first one. Nurse Court.
I love you, Nurse Court, but you got to talk to Peyton Todd and get a little seed. Mike, people don't realize why this is so important. The punter generally holds. And LSU only hit 2 punts last year, returned for a -1 yard. And even though Jay Bramlett was not 45 yards, Notre Dame punter is in the portal.
And here's the thing, Badger Hargett, I don't know how they graded him out this spring. The problem with him is that makes me real nervous, his height.
Yeah.
I mean,
high snap.
High snap.
And Peyton Todd's a good athlete, but you just want to see him flip the switch and be consistent. That is the battle I think we're going to focus in on along with D tackle going into the fall camp. And then, of course, there's always rumors, do you bring in another corner, another DB or whatever? So still a job that is long way from finished. But, man, if they could just get some plug-and-play guys. And now with the 2 departures, Joe Pryor and Emory Jr., you guys keep up with the number, but they've got to be around 80 or
I wouldn't even count. I wasn't even counting John Emory. It's like,
no, I don't either. So,
but
in case you missed it, Joe Pryor, a freshman inside offensive lineman, mostly at guard, took his bag and went home, and he's going somewhere else. He didn't make it.
And Kai Preen's at Tulane.
And Shaz Preston, former recruit that LSU lost out to Alabama, is at Tulane as well.
And those 2, both from St. James.
Yeah, correct.
So, all right, let's get to it. Chili says, what happened with Joe Cryer? And I'm hearing Dominic Williams really loves Bo Davis. That's a good thing on Demonic Williams. Joe Cryer, I think he probably got there and realized pretty quickly that it's an uphill battle at LSU. And so be interesting to see where he ends up. Super kid, and I wish him the best. Barry Barbier says, are we so pathetic that we have to discuss softball, women's basketball, and gymnastics? Come on, Barry.
Wait, what?
Come on, man. It's pathetic that we have to discuss women's softball and basketball and gymnastics.
Well, Barry, look, last year LSU won a baseball.
Is Barry starting trouble to laugh, or is he serious?
Well, listen, you have an affinity for the women's basketball, and rightfully so. I have covered gymnastics for a long time.
I'll tell you this. I will tell you this, Barry. If LSU doesn't get the defensive tackles they need, you're going to start talking about women's basketball in a hurry. Okay?
Well, no, it's just that this is one of the things that I think is actually great about the LSU brand. And we talk about it all the time, Mike. You think people know who Kim Mulkey is? You think people know who Angel Reese and Libby Dunn are? That brand has expanded globally because of a lot of women. So I don't know if he's trying to be a chauvinist pig or making a joke or whatever. But look, we talk about what's on the plate, and they just won a freaking national championship for the first time. So now women's basketball has done it. Jay has made number 7 work last year, and now Jay Clark, Dede, in that game, number 1. But
Nurse Court says, Barry, it's relevant. They work their asses off. They deserve a few minutes. Barry adds, we need to get rolling in the portal. And Nurse Court says, she goes, I know I want him to do so well. Bad bless his heart. Holden Lee says the other night Slade Nagel tweeted the tiger emoji last week, so I'm assuming they got their guy already.
Yeah. Look, I wanted to ask you because Sherman was the star last year with the cryptic tweets.
He still is.
I know, but do you think Slade Nagel is so? Obviously, everybody's.
I think Sherman is more active on Twitter in LSU than Sports Information Department is.
Yeah. Well, I'm just asking you. So you think that they definitely got that was a sign that they got somebody. Now, Slade Nagel, guess what? Coaches special teams. Hey, competition makes you better. You and I watched this with 38. I mean, we're waiting for him to be consistent. And as we know, hey, has LSU had trouble with special teams the last 2 years? Yeah, but it hadn't been at punter. So the last thing you need to do is fall off. I'm going to make a prediction tonight that I hadn't made all year. I watched the spring game again, Mike. I'm going to go ahead and say it. You can mark me down. You can call me an idiot, a DA, or whatever. LSU's going to return a freaking punt for a touchdown this year. It's going to happen. It might have some laundry in the flag. It's going to happen. Number 11, the Z-Man. You're going to love him. And Aaron Anderson is there to pick up the ball. But I really like Xavier Thomas to take one to the house this year.
Bottom of the third, it's still 0-0. Kling's at bat for LSU. So we're going to keep an eye on that for you throughout the hour. And then, of course, post-game and player interviews we will have on this YouTube channel once the game is over. So,
hey, I got to ask you this because I saw this on a couple of different sites, and you go there. We've had this thing that we've talked about. Sports and politics age you more than anything.
I thought Jay looked good yesterday.
Well, I know, but people, that's what I'm saying. 1 week he looks down. Of course, this is what it takes a toll. But 1 week he looks 50, and the next week he looks 39.
He needed that bad.
It was good to see him smiling, but man, they need some karma and some momentum. So this is the week you got to go 4-0.
Dane Bergeron, good evening, Mike and Buddy. Nurse Court says yes. Shirt laughs. Sherman handles Twitter. Jacqueline McCall says I miss hearing my home accent. Love this show. Jacqueline, where are you watching us from? Where are you displaced to? I always try to pride myself on saying I don't have a Louisiana accent, but maybe you're going to correct me. I think Buddy has more of one than I do, but I did live in Lafayette for 30 years, so maybe I picked up some stuff there. Yeah, Barry Barbier says I'm just teasing about the girls there doing better than the men.
No, well, we take interaction from people, and we, when they want to talk football or whatever.
Here's the thing: the chat drives the majority of the show, and Buddy and I have come in here and said, okay. And sometimes I honestly think I'm waiting for someone to say, "Man, y'all talk too much women's basketball," But when we go off on it and go away from it, or we try to keep it to a nice segment, people bring it back up. You guys drive the show with what's in the chat. And sometimes we do have to repeat ourselves because someone arrives on the show late in the hour, but still. She says she's in Arkansas, moved here for work. Arkansas is pretty up there.
Well, the interesting thing about Arkansas right now is, of course, everybody knows that Musselman went out west to be the USC basket coach, and they went and brought in Calipari. Now, what's even more interesting is that Tyson Chicken Money and all these big money people are getting in, and now Jerry Jones is sitting there and outwardly saying, hey, Cal, I want to buy you some players. Me, Jerry Jones. Of course, he played with Arkansas with Jimmy Johnson, won the national championship with them in football. And so, look, man, it's an all-out bidding war, and that's all. We talk about having sugar daddies for all the sports, but you do. You really do. Because, unfortunately, folks, as we know, the more portal acquisitions and departures, the more it takes money. And so we'll see if LSU can continue. But, by the way, Jay Clark and his staff obviously got some raises because of winning that natty. Georgia came at them. And, Mike, I think the portal has to be done at the end of the month. So this being the 23rd, I think you actually have one more week.
Well, they have to be in
by
May 1st.
Yeah.
So,
but look, everybody knows basically every rule they've set up has been broken. So,
all right. Let's hear from Mike and Alex at Pride Roofing.
Hi, I'm Michael with Pride Roofing.
I'm Little Alex.
Have you been affected by wind, hail, and tornadoes on the North Shore? Well, we're here to help.
Insurance claim, no problem.
We also have a new franchise location in New Orleans.
We don't build projects, we build memories.
Though you know Pride Roofing is the official roofer of TigerBait.com.
In fact, notify TigerBait and we'll give you a free roof inspection. And on top of that, you get a free year subscription. Remember to call us at 855-PRIDE-16.
There you go, Mike and Alex with their new commercial. They do a couple of them a year, and that's the new one. And, of course, Mike Faraday, a Broadmoor High LSU grad. New locations all over the state of Louisiana, home in New Orleans, here in Baton Rouge, Hammond. Nobody does roofs better than Pride Roofing. Give them a call, 855-PRIDE-16. Say TigerBait when you call. And with your free roof inspection, and that's residential or commercial, if you say TigerBait, you're going to get free TigerBait premium for a year. That's a $99 value, and Pride Roofing is paying for it. And so give them a call. They'll work with your insurance adjuster. They're on a first-name basis with your insurance adjuster. And if it's a multi-quote deal, they'll sharpen their pencil like Buddy always says and get competitive. And they want to work with you and get it right.
Really building up that Baton Rouge office. Look, we're not going to be on TV every 30 minutes, but we are going to be available to you. Mike Kirby and his team working hard to establish great relationships. They care, Mike. We talk about it from the beginning to the end. We want to take care of you. It's not just commercial, residential, and metal roofs. We do all of that. You talk about the shingles. You talk about the re-roofs, the construction. Quality materials, incredible warranty. Once again, give them an opportunity. In Baton Rouge, 275-2041. Outside, 1-855-PRIDE-16. And we are hoping one day, Mike, and I kind of broached this subject a little bit today with different guests about BK. And we said he'd bring back the pride of LSU, and he did that in year one. But this is getting in year three, and people are going to start to talk as we get closer to the season. Georgia, Texas, Alabama, and Ole Miss are garnering more pub right now. So if you think LSU 12-14 to start, got to be USC. And that's what we have to talk about with this company. They want you to have pride in your LSU defense. Connect the dots. Give them an opportunity. Pride Roofing, 275-2041 or 855-PRIDE-16. Can you imagine some of the old timers seeing that defense last year? I mean, they had to be throwing some stuff on TV.
And it has to get better, but you got to get some fixes up front. All right. Hal Jubin says he's glad that Musselman left Arkansas. Dane Bergeron asked if I'm going to the parade tomorrow. Yes, I'll be there covering it. And we'll have all that up on our YouTube channel tomorrow night.
Of course, Kim Muckley's very close to DD Bro. And when Kim got the job over here, kind of DD kind of showed her the landscape of LSU. And they have been at a gymnastics meet. And Kim, of course, is a big fan. And so, you know, look, we've heard all of the talk, but you agree about the LSU brand? I mean, it's globally now. And you turn around every time. Jared Mitchell now has a gig on the SEC.
That's awesome.
Network. Ben McDonald, Todd Walker. I mean, it doesn't get better.
Booger, Ryan Clark.
Yeah, and so Booger
Shaq
and
Shaq's the business.
Yeah.
Shaq's the biggest.
Yeah.
Who would be second to him, Clark or Booger?
I don't know.
I think Clark might be bigger. Than
David Toms is also an incredible global representative as a male golfer, but
I'm talking about, man.
Shaq, I don't think there's anybody close to Shaq
As far as guys in the media doing games.
Shaq is what him and Barkley and TNT have going on right now is just it's great stuff.
People watch that and they don't even watch the NBA. They just watch that show. Mark J says, I would only take a Bernard Converse type at DB. We need a known commodity. If not, focus only on the D-line for scholarships. I think they would really like a marquee corner if they could get one in the portal. But I also don't think they're going to take one just to take one. He's got to be someone who's a can't miss. And because look, don't take a guy just to, just because you got the numbers and you can do it. Only take one that you can actually use and that can play for you right now. You don't want to bring in a guy or two that's going to affect your numbers for the following years, and you got to juggle that again.
I am honestly hoping that they do a little bonding during the summer workouts. So we say you can't ever win a national championship in the summer, but you can lose one if you're not working. And they've got a lot of numbers at corner. And
BK was on the golf course again today.
Well, listen, hey, everybody's got to, but I'm talking about the DBU and bring. I think they have bodies there. They've got to get 4 or 5 or 6 because everybody plays nickel and dime. But and safeties obviously, Major Burns closer at Star and that was to me one of the big disappointments right at the beginning of the game. Whether it was his ball or not, seeing 15 was back turned and a guy catching the pass. So I think they're going to have that cleaned up a lot better. At least we better hope so because USC is going to put pressure on that defense that first game. But you figured to outscore people, Mike. But once again, are you going to be I might have misspoke when I said it was going to be the most improved defense. They still got time, but I think they're a year or two away from having the studs on defense that they need.
Folks, if you're enjoying the show, please do me a favor and hit that like button. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please hit the subscribe button and notification bell. I think a lot of people watch YouTube and they're not even registered. They're just logging into YouTube and not creating an account. Create an account if you haven't. It takes a few minutes. It's easy. And it makes it much easier for you in the future. So that way you've got all your favorites and your likes. And when you log in the next time, it comes up quicker. But please hit that like button if you're enjoying the show. Mark C says, Mike, Buddy, how many Tigers get drafted this weekend? Where does JD5, Malik, and Brian Thomas Jr. end up? You buying any of this shakeup at the top of the draft for Daniels? And
you always hear this stuff. I did kind of raise my eyebrows when they brought all those quarterbacks in. Washington, Jaden Daniels thought he was having a one-on-one visit, and there were 3 other quarterbacks. And so, look, Washington has not been a stable franchise. They've always said some wacko. Of course, Snyder was there.
And then what is New England without Belichick?
Yeah, exactly. But look, I think that Jaden Daniels is going to go 2 or 3. I think Malik Neighbors is going to go 4, 5, or 6. And Brian.
So that's the question. They both have question marks. Where would you, if you're Jaden Daniels, where would you rather be, Washington or New England?
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, is Washington maybe got a better upshot with new ownership?
Yeah, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of responsibility. And of course, Brian Thomas Jr., all you have to do is have one team fall in. So you're going to see 3 Tigers go in the first round on Thursday night. Now, where Mason Smith's going to fall, who's going to pick Mekhi Wingo and some of the other guys, we're going to wait to see. But as always, I really think LSU will have 3 before you turn the TV off on Thursday night.
Absolutely. Nurse Court with a super chat. Thank you. She says, love the show, guys. 130 more wake ups until Las Vegas. All right. You've got a countdown going on.
Well, wait a minute. You know what? I was just thinking about not going, but if Court is going, she holds court at some of these events, as you well know. And
if you were to go, you would go up on a Wednesday or a Thursday?
I have not gotten into the logistics of when I would leave. I'm still working on the details, but unfortunately, nothing is simple. And
I'm not a gambler, so
yeah, I'm not.
I'm likely to be spending time at the restaurants.
Yeah, or the shows.
I want to hit. I want to hit Gordon Ramsay's and Bobby Flay's and all those places.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind going to a show in the Sphere, but I looked at the deal and there's nothing there that weekend other than their stock show.
By the way, I think it leaked out last week that LSU would be a 6 or 6.5 point favorite over USC, and I don't know where they come up with that, but it'll be a better number when we get closer. But that is also the other advantage over there. I learned a long time ago, Mike. I can't make a living and can't make money betting on college football, so I'll stay away from it. But I know a lot of people like to do it and have fun with it.
Nurse Court, thank you for that super chat. Don Wheat says, are you hearing anything from women's basketball portal news? Don, I can tell you that, there's a couple of that we're following, kind of got stuff ready for when it breaks, but they are really keeping info close to the vest. And I tend to think, like I said earlier, we could see something here in the next couple of days. I believe that.
Janae Kent, by the way, ended up going to Texas A&M.
I really liked her.
Yeah, I like her too, and I think she probably had that discussion with Coach Smoky. And look, it's hard to, you got Flauget and you got Morrow, and you got Michaela Williams. Those are three pretty damn potential stars. Then you throw in Samaya Smith coming off the injury. You know how good she is. And you hope that Del Rosario plays a little more fluid, not so stiff. You got last tier 4. That's 6 already. And Mike, what do you expect?
LSU Nichols baseball, middle of the 4th, still 0-0.
Yeah, that's been hard to watch. But you expect 3 or 4 additions with women's hoops, right?
Yeah, I do.
And by the way, I know you want to thank everybody that came out to Acadian Hall for the function.
Yeah, that was a nice crowd last week. Alumni Hall and
Alumni Hall.
Yeah, Alumni Hall and it was perfect. It was perfect weather, and those girls had a really nice time. And Alumni Hall, of course, being involved in the NIL space, and that deal right there is what NIL is all about. In fact, a representative from LSU that handles NIL, and it's a third party, but has an office at LSU, and got to talk to her. But that event right there is what NIL was meant to be. And I'd like to see more of that kind of stuff. And I know Alumni Hall is going to do more of it in the future. Hal Jubin, no, the men basketball team is not done in the portal. In fact, I got a few notes right now. Let's see. Toby O'Connie is at Virginia right now, and they should know soon on that one. He visited LSU last weekend, and then DJI Bailey from Richmond is visiting this weekend. And I also know that there's a couple of bigs that they're working on.
Yeah, they need a couple of bigs. By the way, I think Terrell Ward verified that he is coming back. We were worried about that. He shoots the ball so well from the outside. Somebody offer him a bucket full of money to leave. But I think Coach McMahon is stabilized, the boat right now. And, it's a long way to go. But I think that they're on a little bit of an uptick, Mike. I really do.
Chance Babin says, Mike, is LSU really pursuing Sam Brown, the Houston wide receiver? I don't know. The only thing I've seen out there is A&M and Miami and a few others. Would LSU take another wide receiver that's elite? I think they might, and they're making room.
But I don't want, look, Kyron Lacey, Chris Hilton, C.J. Daniels, Aaron Anderson, Xavier Thomas, Kyle Parker, Kelton Sampson.
I don't think they're done at wide receiver from guys.
I know, but
guys getting in the portal.
If Sampson gets in the portal, I can understand it. But that's a pretty solid 7 right there. And you got the fly guy coming in.
You said it. Now we're in trouble.
Jelani Watkins at 10-22, and then Billy out. So I mean, they obviously feel like that. But who knows, Mike? It's like all the corners. Would you take a corner? Yes, but it's got to fit. And the money's got to be right for both the team and
the way this is now. You run like a pro franchise.
Yeah.
If someone's better than your third guy, you take them.
Mm-hmm. But it's going to cost you as well.
Yep.
So
the money's there. Dane Bergeron says he starts therapy tomorrow on his shoulder. We've been and he'll be ready for Vegas. All right, good for that.
I was going to say, Dane is Tiger Shark going to have all of us tickets for what's the hottest show in Vegas right now?
I don't know. I'm not a gambler, so I'm going there to eat and see some shows. What shows are there? I don't know. I don't think Billy Idol's still doing a residency there. But I'm not going to see Blue Man Group or that kind of stuff. I would have liked to seen U2, but they're gone. Those tickets were crazy too. I think they were $1,000 a pop or more to see them in the Sphere when they were there doing their residency. H-Town Creole, LSU needs another receiver with experience. Kyron has not proven to be steady enough for wide receiver one. I tell you what, H-Town, I was with you on that about Kyron Lacey. And of course, there's a difference between games and spring, but I didn't see Kyron Lacey drop a ball all spring.
And listen, when you look at the sheet of the LSU receivers the last 5+ years, you're talking about double-digit touchdown receptions and over 1,000 yards. And so I'm going to say right now, if he stays healthy, he's going to accrue that yardage. Is he going to have a drop or two? And is it going to be in a crucial time? We don't know that. You could, like you alluded to, you hit it on the driving range, but when you tee it up in a real tournament, is he going to, although it does seem like, Mike, the game is slowing down and he's ready to lead. CJ Daniels is the kind of X factor. I don't know what you're going to get there. You're going to have to get Aaron Anderson in space to get him some balls. And Chris Hilton had a really good spring. He didn't have much in the spring game, but then again, that wasn't much of a show. So I just thought they had plenty of depth at wide receiver, but obviously they may be looking for somebody that could come in and block as a wide receiver as well.
Josh Pearson, homer to right center, 1-0 LSU. At bat Milam with one out in the bottom of the fourth.
But too many solo home runs for LSU. They have had a lot of solo home runs. By the way, that I looked it up before, so that would be home run number 69 for LSU this year. They have given up 42. And they hit 144 last year. They're not going to get to that point.
Don Wheat says, take the night bus tour when you go to Vegas. All right, there's a tip.
Yeah.
All right. I tell you what, let's I got to do this one right now. KnowNaturals, everybody. I tried some the other night, rest. I couldn't sleep, got up at 2 a.m, took some, and it was perfect. So Tiger fans, get ready for dispensary grade gummies delivered discreetly to your door with KnowNaturals. The gummies are super fast acting. In just 15 to 30 minutes, experience a new level of wellness without needing a doctor's recommendation. Crafted with dispensary grade, top shelf quality cannabinoids, adaptogens, and terpenes, KnowNaturals offers a variety of gummies tailored to your needs. Try BLISS with Delta 9 THC for a euphoric lift, Energy with CBC and cordyceps mushrooms for a natural boost, Focus with CBD, CBG, cordyceps, and lion's mane mushrooms for clear-headed concentration, and LUCID with CBDV and blue lotus for serene mindfulness, and of course, rest, who I just talked about. CBD, CBDV, and CBN for a deep, restful slumber. Mix them for an even more elevated experience. This is what you do. You go to shop.knownaturals.com, shop.knownaturals.com, order today, and use TigerBait 10, all one word for in the code in the promo box, TigerBait 10, and you're going to get 10% off your order. Know your cannabinoids, know your experience, KnowNaturals. And this is legal. There's no THC, the bad kind, and shipped to your door, and they're not expensive. You get a lot of gummies in each of those packs. Here you go. This is the energy right here, 10 gummies in a pack. The pricing is excellent, and this is BLISS. And
this is Focus, and
we got rest up front. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, do that. Don't mess around with Ambien or any of that kind of stuff if you can avoid it. If you got problems going to sleep at night. I know a lot of people like me drink too much caffeine late at night, and rest might be just what you need. That's a good question, Faye. Faye Schubert says, anyone know what the Gymnastics finals viewing audience was? I don't know that it was going to be huge, but
well, we talked about it a little bit on the show today. Why is look, this is unprecedented, folks. We're going to look back many years from now and think that this is a misprint. 18-7 watching the women's final and 14-6 or 14-7 watching the men's final. But I think what I'm getting out of the gymnastics community is that ESPN and the NCAA have really, really gotten with, and of course the NBA ties in with the WNBA. Now I'll ask you this: are you going to watch Angel Reese go against Caitlin Clark when Chicago plays Indiana in the WNBA?
I'll watch.
Okay, I don't know if I will. But,
I'm gonna watch.
But as far as gymnastics goes, those numbers will probably be minuscule compared to what women's hoops is. I had the same question, Faye, and I'll try to get an answer.
I'm gonna have to dig around to find out where I can watch it and how to watch it.
But it was on ABC at 3 o'clock, and you're talking about 4 teams. But I would imagine it pales in comparison. And Barry, I'm going to adhere to what you say. I am not going to bring in any spice to this program and give you a softball score right now, but it's in Lafayette. And all you can do is take the L in Lafayette. And unfortunately, it's an 8-2 deficit right now.
Oh, boy. All right. There you go. It's still 1-0 LSU with base runners on first and second. And there you go. Bottom of the fourth. LSU leading 1-0. Looks like it's taking its time updating. Let's see what else we got. Scotty B says, Harmon from Michigan State reminds me of Tyler Shelvin. I hope we go after him.
Well, Tyler Shelvin was a guy that had, look, we loved his mass and we loved him, making 2 guys on the other offensive line block him. He accounted for a couple. They double blocked him, but he had weight issues. And so this is going to be interesting to see. Look, let's be honest. Bo Davis is not going to get the kind of guys he needs at the snap of a finger. It's going to take this year in the portal and all of the next 2 years in recruiting. But that locks up to this 25 class, Mike. I don't see it getting any weaker. I think this is getting stronger. Who's the 5-star DB that had the LSU gloves on? Pauline DeLon or whatever his name is.
He's coming.
You think he's coming to LSU?
Well, he's coming for a visit.
Yeah. I mean, but
he's been here multiple times already.
And so, but I think it's going to take them probably a couple of years to get the kind of defensive physicality that they want to play that style of defense.
Spectrum Wellcare says, what's the latest on Barrow? And I tell you, it just really looks like LSU's in a good spot right now. I don't know if it's we're going to know something by the weekend or when that's going to come down, but people seem to be positive about where LSU sits right now.
Yeah. I think his teammate also got into the portal. I'm not familiar with him as much, but as we said, there will be more portal possibilities, and we'll see how it washes out.
All right, let me scroll up. Put some more comments in there, and we'll be sure to get to them. What's the score of that softball game again?
8-2 Cajuns, what I had.
That's Arena.
Well, they went over. I will say this, and listen, Barry and everybody else, you have prerogatives on what you want to watch. And so I'm a puncher. I punch with my remote control, and I ran into the third game. LSU beat Tennessee, so it was 1-1 in the series, and getting into the third game. And Mike, this is the toughest thing about softball and baseball. These umpires squeeze these pitchers, and you can see. Obviously, I'm a spicy kind of guy, so if they screw me out of a strike, and then I got a groove one, and the guy hits it for a home run, I'm looking at the guy like, go blank yourself. But Batarina picked a fight with the umpire. She got falsed in the last game. They got beat 3-0. But once again, umpiring, whether it's softball or baseball, is not as good as the quality of competition you have in the SEC. So you almost have to get a little lucky there. But, man, we've seen some really bad pitches called strikes this year. And, of course, you got to be very mentally tough to handle all that.
All right, folks. Alumni Hall. Tiger fans, going to tell you the best place to get all your LSU fan gear. Alumni Hall. Shop at the store on Blue Bonnet in Perkins Row, or shop online at alumnihall.com. They've got it all the Nike gear, Peter Millar, Southern Tide, Champion, Johnny O, the Johnny O stuff I really like, Onward Reserve, and more. They've got the nice polos you've been looking for, hats, Yeti, and all the new LSU baseball gear is in stock. Shop with them, and you can earn rewards on future purchases with their Hall Pass Rewards program. I have this discount code to share with my friends and subscribers. So when you shop, use the code TigerBait, all one word, TigerBait. And whether it's in store or on their online site, you'll get 10% off. So if you're in Perkins Row, go in their beautiful store, pick out what you want, go to the register and say TigerBait. They're going to give you 10% off everything you buy. Or you can do it online at alumnihall.com. And it's the best. Use TigerBait and save. And a lot of you were there for the autograph meet and greet with the LSU women's basketball players last week, and you just saw how beautiful that store is. Very well managed, easy to get in and out of, and it's amazing the stuff that they've gotten there. Really check out their table of 2 for $38 T-shirts. They have some great T-shirts that they bundle, and you can get 2 for $38 with some really nice designs and really the high quality cotton shirts. Everything in the store is fantastic.
Do you know if they've gotten the gymnastics stuff yet?
They do. In fact, if you go to the front page of TigerBait, I've got it on the front page. There's like 5 items, a couple of shirts, a hat, a coffee mug, and they've got it all at Alumni Hall. And use the TigerBait code on that as well. And
who knows? They may have a function with Haley Bryant, and
they do have a relationship with her, and they are going to be bringing her.
So look forward to that, man. I got to be honest with you. You don't ever know what's going to be viewed so much, but I watched your 30 minutes of interviews or whatever it was over at Alumni Hall. I enjoyed it immensely, and you get a little more personal view. Mike was the only media person there, and I know they thank the fans, but this is the one thing that I think sets the LSU fan base apart from other people, is that they do care. And like Alabama, let's be honest, they care about football. Nate Oates has made them care about basketball, but really, other than that, now they've been good in gymnastics. They're still good in gymnastics. They've won natties before, but Georgia, do they care about anything other than football? And LSU is more well-rounded, and obviously the women have done appreciably better. But once you get a natty in one sport, you mentioned BK earlier in golf. Just saw a little blurb here. He's hanging with Roger Clemens and Chris Berman at the Zurich Classic. So, hey, listen, there's nothing with a man wrong with a man that's a football coach that likes to play golf. And I think, Mike, if you look at that, they all do that. They do it at Sandestin. And
2-0 LSU with the bases loaded. Bases loaded with 2 outs.
Who's that?
And that bat is Tommy White.
Okay.
Bases loaded. 2-0 LSU, 2 outs. Tommy White up at the plate.
Give us your prediction.
You want me to say grand slam?
No, I don't care what you say.
I think he knocks 1 in.
Okay.
Knocks 2 in. That's what my prediction.
Okay. I agree with
Counts 2-1. All right. Yeah, this is the good question that Chance has. Do you think Haley Bryant returns next year? She is undecided.
Look, we've said this about NIL, and I think Haley Bryant is like the classiest LSU women's athlete. I want to say that number is like 15 Tims, more so than any other gymnast. She's very well-spoken. She's very talented. She's very classy. She's going to be a hit, whatever she does.
All right, let me ask you this. How long before she has a statue? Because, I mean, who's she is coming, right?
Yeah, well, I mean
there's no way you don't make one for her in the future.
Yeah.
Right? Who's more decorated and
well, but if you get a gymnastics statue, you probably have to go Dee first. You know? So, I don't know. Look, all I can tell you is that
did I pick a scab?
No, O.J. Simpson just died a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Y'all all saw those jokes.
That's interesting.
But I would love for her to come back selfishly because I enjoy watching them and I do keep up with it. But I wish her the best on what she's ever going to do. And I'm a bad predictor. I'm the dumbass that thought Angel Reese was going to come back and make another million or whatever she makes a year. And of course, she's at the WNBA and she's already promoting for.
Do you think she struggles finding her way?
I don't know, because Cardoso can do a lot of the dirty work, and she is just a beast at that offensive rebounding. But obviously, she's going to have to work on her outside.
I think she's got enough motivation because there's a lot of people who thinks that she is going to struggle. So,
well, she's been working on her outside shots, so we'll see. But
yeah, she's going to need that. But that's H-Town Creole. He's telling Mark J, I would take the over on Mason Taylor. He's the only returning starter that is consistent catching the ball. And Mark J's question was over under on Mason Taylor, 10 touchdowns this season, over under.
Ooh, that's under. I mean,
I'd say the odds are under.
Yeah, I think the tight end record for touchdowns in a year is probably 4 or 5. But
I think
he's got a chance to catch 45 or 50 balls. But
but he should have 30-40% more receptions than he had last year.
Yeah. Let's put the over and under on touchdowns for him at 6.
But he should have a lot more production, just receptions and balls thrown his way, I think.
By the way, we talked about KP, Kamori, and Pimpton. You finally got a chance. Man, I just love when I see that big number 88 running down the field. He did get tweaked a little bit with the ankle. But Mac Markway is tight end number 2. And I'll ask you again, what do you think Trey'Dez Green is going to grow into? And how do you think Joe Sloan looks at him and says, okay, this is what we need to do for you? I hope they don't say, okay, I want to put 15 pounds on you so you can block. I want him to be a mismatch in the slot because 6'7" with that wingspan, I don't know too many DBs that can tackle that. Even though he is green and raw. So,
yeah.
You think he gets a big?
I'm just imagining what physically he might look like in a couple of years.
Yeah.
I think he's just going to be insane. He's got so much ceiling he's not nowhere near it.
And look, the viewer might be right. Mason Taylor might get 10 touchdowns, but I know they'll never have any more important than that one in 2020 when 2022 when they beat Alabama.
Pass ball got a run score, and Tank actually popped up.
Okay, so what's the score?
3-0.
3-0.
Going to the top of the 5th. All right, I got one more bill to pay, and let me get to it real quick. There it is. My buddy Bart Smoky and his son. You got to give these guys a call, 318-448-3201. What is something you can do with your money that would be meaningful to you? Do you have goals that you want to reach? Do you feel like you need some guidance to realize those goals? At the Smoky Investment Team, they help people set their goals, work towards them. Over 50 years of experience doing just that. If you want to get serious about reaching your financial potential, give them a call, 318-448-3201. Security and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor, member FINRA/SIPC, and LSU grads, known them both for 25 years, no finer people, and get your 401k, your SEP, all that stuff. They can get you set up and at least get you start up building a nice nest egg for your future.
Yeah, the previous week, of course, was a tough week in the market, and it's rebounded nicely the first 2 days this week. But that experience and that calm, everybody we talk to and know that uses them, look, yeah, you don't want to go to a guy like me who you call up and, what do you want? I mean, they really handle it professionally. And once again, trust and communication, once again, the key to every great.
The younger you are, the better it is to get to them now. And if you're like a lot of people that paused your stuff or quit putting in during COVID and all that, get caught back up. They'll get you set up at the Smoky Investment Team. Jim Selmer, I appreciate what you guys do. Thank you, Jim. Anything else you want to add before we get out of here?
Yeah, a couple tidbits. Brady Neal is going through a little bit of a sore shoulder. He's working through that, so he's day to day. Not sure. He's probably not playing tonight. Mike asked a question about Jaden Newt. That was the guy that got hurt last year. He is making progress. What did you think from Jay's answer? When do
It
you
sounds like he's
expect-
not far.
Yeah, you expect to see him soon. He did implicate that Chase Shores will probably not pitch this year. Not anything definitive, but the big 6'8" superstar with great potential. And I think really as we move forward to the end of this baseball, it's hard to believe already six weekends in. 3 of the last 4 weekends at home, hosting Auburn. Once again, 6:30, 6, and 1 o'clock. That's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Need to sweep. If you sweep, you get back to 8-13. You and I think they'll make the SEC tournament. What happens?
All of a sudden, we're singing a different tune if that happens. A real big different tune.
Yeah, but look. So you got to make the SEC tournament, and then obviously you want to try to make the NCAA tournament. And don't forget parade tomorrow at LSU 6:30. Much like
If the weather's like it's been the last few days,
man.
it's going to be really nice.
and they'll go back inside the PMAC about 7. And so I know that was special.
I think they learned something from the one with Smoky and them. That thing ran long and it was a little herky jerky. I bet you they've learned from that and they're going to have it really nice for tomorrow night. I'm looking forward to see how they do it. But that parade last year was awesome.
Yeah.
And whether you've been a gymnastics fan or not, just get out there. The weather's going to be beautiful. So, and it's free.
Sure. So have a great week, folks. And once again, Pelicans at OKC tomorrow night as well. They had a chance to win game 1, but shot 1 for 10 the last 3 minutes. And Mike's got some scoop coming on Matt McMahon and possible portal and new recruits coming in. So good time to be a Tiger fan. Congrats to all those gymnastic people. You hope that the baseball team can get a little bit of that positive karma, flip the script, and get hot. And obviously Beth Torina. Now, this is their last regular season non-conference game of the year. They'll finish up with Arkansas, and then they finish up earlier than men's baseball. So we'll see if what happens with those ladies.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Please hit that like button if you enjoyed the show, and we'll see you back here next week. And we'll have baseball post-game press conference and player interviews up on this channel just in a little bit once this game's over. All right, everybody. Good night.